I'm Isaac Shin, and this is my second assignment for organizational behavior, looking at the two organizations, mine being the NCAA and U Sports. The NCAA is the National Collegiate Athletic Association. It is a member-led organization dedicated to the well-being and lifelong success of college athletes. It is a nonprofit organization with 1,123 schools and institutions across 3 divisions. There are 98 voting athletic conferences through 24 sports with 54,000 student athletes, and they award $22.9 billion in scholarships each year. The U Sports is Canadian Inter-University Sport. It is formerly CIS. It is the governing body of university sport in Canada. It's through 55 universities and 4 regional associations, which are called conferences, through 12 sports and 11,000 student athletes. The 3 points that I will be discussing today are organizational culture, conflict, and organizational change. Organizational culture. So for the NCAA, they share a belief and commitment to 7 core values, which give the organization a distinct personality. These include the collegiate model of athletics, in which students participate as an avocation balancing their academic, social, and athletic experiences. The highest level of integrity and sportsmanship, the pursuit of excellence in both academics and athletics, the supporting role that intercollegiate athletics plays in the higher education mission and in enhancing the sense of community and strengthening the identity of member institutions. An inclusive culture that fosters equitable and participation for student athletes and career opportunities for coaches and administrators from diverse backgrounds. Respect for institutional autonomy and philosophical differences. Presidential leadership of intercollegiate athletics at the campus, conference, and national levels. So the NCAA has a strategic plan, which includes goals relating to academics, the student athletic experience, informed governance and decision-making, effective national office administration, and perceptions of the association in intercollegiate athletics. The NCAA does a good job of conveying a sense of identity to organization members and athletes, with a code of conduct that includes both its athletes and board members, creating a culture through these. The NCAA holds a code of ethics to make an ethical work climate. U Sports holds 4 core values, which include student-athlete centered, excellence, teamwork, ethically driven. Clear form of outcome orientation with a strategic plan that was started in 2013 to strive for goals, with a clear final goal of becoming the world leader in university sport. Innovation and risk-taking, from changing the name of CIS with the outdated logo to now U Sports in 2016. This is risk-taking and change, which the board of directors encourages. They serve as a control mechanism that guides and shapes the attitudes and behavior of employees and members with bylaws, policies, procedures, and ethical conduct. These lead to discipline and appeal decisions. Suggestions for both of these organizations in relation to organizational culture is a strategic plan for both sides could use more specific outcome-based goals. For instance, the U Sports strategic plan for improving visibility in media is to significantly increase media presence. I suggest that they set a clear and common goal, such as 4 nationally televised national championship games before the start of the 2018 to 2019 school year. Having core values is great, but instead of having them hidden behind a couple clicks in your website, these core values could be implemented in a bigger part of your organization, such as your logo, to really create a culture around these values. The second topic I'm going to talk about today is conflict. With the NCAA, they have many forms of dealing with conflict, yet most of the emphasis is on process conflict and how teams compete in NCAA play. The diversity of goals can create conflict in the NCAA. An example of this could be that the goal of the NCAA is to develop lifelong success in student athletes, whereas a member of the NCAA or an athlete has the goal to win championships and acts unethically to do such. The size and composition of the group can also be a form of conflict, where conflict is expected to arise with a high number of student athletes in the NCAA. The worst way of conflict resolution that the NCAA has is called the NCAA death penalty, being that the program is suspended for a year. This is only used in the utmost circumstance. Conflict resolution is usually done with an investigation forcing to the extent of what the disciplinary action should be. In youth sports, they're very similar to the NCAA, where most conflict is process conflict in how teams are playing and whether or not if it is ethical. Diversity of goals is a less common area for conflict in the Canadian side of the university sport, where unethical practices are not as prevalent, though size and speculation are still a major part of conflict, where youth sports is much smaller than the NCAA, yet there is still a large number of student athletes, making the potential of conflict higher. Conflict resolution has been very routine, and usually the conflict ends in losses of being given to that particular team or individual. Conflict resolution differing from the NCAA is that the athletic director of the impeding university or institution is more often dealing with the incident more than the organization, youth sports itself. Some suggestions to be here on the conflict of these organizations. I think that there should be some sort of information session where every player involved in either organizations knows the conduct and the disciplinary actions and proceedings to what would happen if they breach this conduct. I think as well that youth sports should monitor the conflicts better, and if there's a disciplinary action that does not fit the severity of the breach of conduct, then they should get involved rather than just the athletic director getting involved. The next topic I'm going to talk about with these organizations is organizational change. Now, the NCAA has since grown tremendously from its change from the IAA to the NCAA in 1910, where it had only 36 institutions. This is an example of a force for change, where the nature of the workplace, and in this case is the sport, and sport changing in the United States and North America as a whole, has since tremendously grown and has become the industry it is now. The change agents for the NCAA are the board of directors, who serve to make a better future for the organization. The changes made were from action research and data collected on viewership and popularity. An example of this is how the NCAA championship tournament was initially 8 teams. It has since expanded to 68 teams and is one of the most watched sports broadcasts in North America. U Sports is a recent name change from what it was before as the CIS. This name change took place in late 2016. The politics of changes are that most of these decisions are made primarily by the board of directors. Most change that has been through participation and involvement. More and more universities are joining youth sports, which also fits well with building support and commitment. These things all lead to organizational change within youth sports. I don't have any suggestions on what could be done better for the NCAA. It's a very successful organization. They have adapted well to the changing world in sport and are making a lot of money doing so. What youth sports needs to do better is change a benchmark for improvement. I think that the board needs to confront the reality of viewership and support in the field and find goals to change for the better. So from my presentation today, I think the main points to take away of analysis is that the NCAA is comparable to youth sports, but in a much larger market and a 2-scale size. Both organizations have board members who make big decisions for many things such as conflict resolution and organizational change. Both organizations have core values and strategic plans as part of their organizational culture, yet they are a few clicks behind and they aren't really a main part of their marketable culture. They both have conflict, which is dealt with in a forcing disciplinary action, yet the NCAA deals with the actions themselves as U Sports has the accompanied school's athletic director deal with the conflict. I hope you enjoyed my presentation today, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at ishin449@community.nipsingu.ca. Thank you.